As a result of that, and when I had the opportunity to visit Iraq, I specifically went there. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a mental picture of Camp Arashop, it probably should not be the white tie environment that we saw projected. Those very brave people went through a lot of work to make a moonscape look very, very presentable to you folks here today. It is a small enclosure, probably 2 to 3 square miles. It's built on terrain that the Iraqis didn't want. It is very remote. It is very hot in the summertime, and these people endure. They endure, frankly, with a smile on their face. Because when I visited, I, of course, spoke with the leadership. I spoke with my Marines, but I had the opportunity to speak with the people of Arashop. They were very gracious. They were very hospitable. We sat down for a meal that I had not planned, but they wanted to host us, and they wanted us to understand who they are and what they're all about. I tell you those things because I probably tell you something you already know. These people are not terrorists. You can say that they're rebels to the degree that the Libyans and the Egyptians and the Syrians are rebels. They seek perhaps a change in government. But there's a large distinction in my mind between a terrorist and a person who seeks a better form of government in his nation. The events of April of this year changed a lot of things in my mind. You've heard mention the casualties, and again, you probably know some of them personally. But over 35 killed, hundreds wounded. But I think also that day, a casualty of the events that took place was the whole concept of what we fought for in Iraq. We fought for a government that was much better than one that would allow that, or indeed even encourage that to happen. I would also offer to you that, in a personal sense, a casualty of that day was the confidence that I have in the U.S. country team. I know the ambassador in Iraq. He is, at his essence, a good man. But some of the things that are being said by his people, I suppose, about the events of that day and what now must happen, are not in keeping with the traditional capability of a country team to go in, understand the terrain, and give good advice to the Secretary of the Defense and to the people that make command and control decisions in our great nation. In the U.S. military, we teach Marines at all ranks that even when you're in combat, you have a moral responsibility, in fact, an imperative to protect those who cannot protect themselves. The nation that sends us forward, I think, has that same responsibility. And if the Iraqis won't do it, and the United States can't do it, then I think it is incumbent, as a number of speakers have said, on the UN to see that it must get done. And I certainly endorse every aspect of what your Madam President has said. We teach our tactical leaders that you need to observe the situation, adjust as need be, and then be aggressive about the execution of what you do. My view, ladies and gentlemen, is that the United States of America needs to demonstrate that same agility that we demand of our combat leaders. We have attempted a policy of engagement, some would say appeasement, but it hasn't worked. Now is the time, I think, to do something else. We teach our operational commanders, observe your adversary, examine what it is that gives him angst, and use that as leverage. There's no question. If you look at the focus of the Iranian leadership at this point and the degree of steps that they're taking to try to mitigate the impact of the MEK and the people at Camp Arashop, it gives them angst. And we should understand what leverage is associated with that. And lastly, we teach our generals that a nation will always do what is in the best interest of that nation to do. I believe that if we are to avert this potential confrontation that looms large on our horizon, our best opportunity is change from within in the Iranian form of government. I fear we do not have time, but I certainly advocate that a first best step is delisting the MEK, providing for the people at our shop, and throwing our full support behind those people who are a part of both organizations. Thank you very much for the opportunity.